welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today is Halloween, the most amazing day of the year, okay? And in honor of Halloween, I thought we could just hang out, tell some spooky stories, and maybe make a little adult drink. Do you guys like my shirt? I specifically bought it to wear on Halloween. I know for me, especially today, is such a beautiful day, okay? I love everything Halloween, and I just thought we could hang out for a little bit before any of you guys go trick-or-treating. I know maybe you guys are pretty grown for that. I know we don't go trick-or-treating anymore, which sucks, bitch, because I love trick-or-treating. But we do hand out candy. So let's just go ahead and get into the drink making part of this video, okay? And then we could go into our spooky story. Do you guys like my cup of choice for today? Bitch, I love Halloween. I got some tajin. I brought some ice. I already drank some of this earlier, so that's why it's like half gone. But orange because, you know, Halloween. I also brought up here this little blender thing. Deja que mi mamá sepa. Me va a dar la madre. Oh my gosh, I'm missing the most important part. The Casamigos, bitch. So go ahead and make yourself a little drink if you are of age. If not, toma tu pinche Kool-Aid, okay? What is you guys' favorite alcoholic drink? Mine is her, okay? I love Casamigos so much. Should I put all of them? It's because I wanted to make it like slushy. You know what I mean? I've never made this before, so I hope it tastes good. I forgot a shot glass because I was gonna put in a shot of this, but we'll just measure with our heart. Se me olvidó un limón, but that's okay. Imagine. I'm gonna add a little bit of tajin. I'm gonna get flipped up. I used to live in this house that was haunted. A lot of creepy things happened in this house, okay? When I lived in this house, I was about 5 to about like 11. I think is when we finally like moved out of the house and got like our own home. I'm the oldest one out of like my cousins and stuff. I remember a lot of things very vividly. They were younger than me, so they don't remember things the way I remember things, if they even remember any of these things, okay? When you walk into the house, you walk into the living room, right? The living room and the kitchen was off to the right. You look to your left, and immediately once you walked in, there was like a coat closet. And then you took like 2 steps and there was like some stairs leading down to the basement. The basement was like a fully furnished basement. It had 2 rooms down there, a bathroom, a living room, the washer and dryer, like the laundry room was down there. That's where like me and my family stayed at the time, okay? If you kept passing those stairs, right after that there were some stairs leading up, and up there was, I guess, like where the main rooms were. So there was 3 rooms up there, 2 bathrooms. That whole part up there was wood floor, as well as like the living room and the kitchen, okay? So everything was floor upstairs. When you went down to the basement, all that was carpet, okay? It was like such like an ugly blue carpet, but like that's neither here nor there. Sometimes I would come home from school and it would just be like me and my uncle, or like me and my aunt. Like somebody was always with me, but it's not like we were ever kind of in the same area. I would just kind of get home from school, grab like a pinche sopa maruchan or some cereal, and like go downstairs and like watch TV, okay? So I was always downstairs. Like I said, the upstairs where all that wood flooring is was directly above the basement, okay? So any footsteps, any movement, anything like going on upstairs, you could obviously hear clearly in the basement, okay? This one time it was just me and my uncle was outside. I don't know what he was doing, like washing his car or like snorting some crack. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but point is he was outside and I was like inside. I was the only one inside, right? One of my aunts, the like owner of the house, bro, she is a huge heel girl, okay? I have seen this woman like full on sprinting in heels, okay? Like she's one of them, okay? So I started to hear her walking around upstairs. Like she was getting ready to like leave, right? Walking around to like the kids' rooms upstairs and just like, you know, it really just sounded like she was about to leave. But she never made it down the steps. Like this is, oh my god, you guys. I'm getting like flashbacks of this shit. It was just so creepy because it really sounded like she was getting ready to leave, but she never walked down the stairs. And obviously since they were also wood, you could hear every time somebody like stepped down the stairs, right? Eventually I just kind of ignore it. I'm like, oh, Thea's getting ready to dip. Like, cool, whatever. I'm watching my Kim Possible or whatever the fuck I was watching, and my uncle comes back inside and he's like, hey, like, do you wanna like go get something to eat or something? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, did Thea leave yet? And he was like, Thea? He's like, Thea's at work. And I was like, no, Thea's upstairs. And he was like, no, Thea's at work. Her car's not even here. And I was just like, well, I just heard her walking around upstairs. And he was like, okay, like let me go look. Maybe she like got here and I didn't notice. I'm pretty sure by this point, like, everybody knew that the house was like a little haunted. But nobody really wanted to like admit it, and I guess he was just trying to like make me feel better about it. So he went to go look. He's like, no, Mika, like no one's here. It's just me and you. And I was just like, okay, like whatever. So we just like went and grabbed her food. But you guys, that was not the first time that I heard like somebody walking around upstairs. It was, oh my god, it's so creepy. Okay, I don't really know like the history of this house, you know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure like once we all like left that house, they found out that like, I don't know if it was like an old married couple had died there or like what had happened, but like somebody had passed away in that house, okay? I want to say this incident happened after like me hearing the footsteps upstairs, okay? Could have been before, but I'm pretty sure it was after, okay? I have a few younger cousins, but at the time I only had 2 younger cousins, okay? A boy and a girl. The little girl, okay, she used to always say she had a little friend that, you know, would tell her to go play outside. Oh, I'm getting chills! This little friend only wanted her to go play outside when it was dark. From the basement, there was a window that you could clearly see out of, because it's a window, but you could see onto like the front yard, okay? And I was a huge like Bratz girl, like a huge like Barbie person. Like I loved playing with dolls, right? Because she was, you know, a girl, obviously me and her would get together, we would play Barbies and like Bratz and shit. She is like 5-6 years younger than me, okay? So when I was about like 10, she must have been like 4 or 5. Like she was little, okay? Little. Sometimes when little kids say something, you don't really believe them because like they're little kids. You know what I mean? So she had mentioned this friend that wanted her to go play with her. Nadie le puso mucha atención. Just because like, I don't know, bitch, like, are you a compulsive liar? Like, of course we acknowledged what she was saying, but it's not like any of us saw what she was seeing. So like none of us really like paid too much attention to when she was talking about her friend. But this one day, you guys, okay, we were playing Barbies and we were playing on the couch that was right against the wall with that window that looked out into the front yard. It had no blinds, but it did have a curtain, so we would just close the curtain and like, you know, the window was closed. At this time, the curtains were open, so you could clearly see out of it and anybody could clearly see into it. Okay, and my mom, I don't know if she was upstairs cooking or if she was in the room downstairs with us. She was somewhere in the house, but she wasn't like in the same little area that we were in, okay? And we were playing, and all of a sudden she kept like looking out the window. Like she just kept like looking out the window and like making these faces, right? And I look at her. I'm gonna name her Brittany because, I don't know, that's the first thing that came to me. So I look at her, I'm like, Brittany. And she was like, what? And I was like, what are you looking at? And she was like, my friend. She won't stop telling me to go outside. Oh my god, you guys. And I was like, what? I was like, do you see her right now? She's like, yeah, she's right there. And I was like, oh my god, you guys, I'm getting the fucking chills. Stop. And I look out the window, you guys, there's nothing there, okay? And I have never had very good eyesight in the dark, okay? I had it a little bit better when I was younger, but even then, like, I couldn't really ever see at night. So when I looked out the window and I didn't see anything, I just chucked it up to like, oh, well, I can't see at night, so like maybe her friend really is out there. But it must have been like 8 or 9 p.m. because it was like pitch black, you guys. It was like fully dark outside. So I was like, oh, well, do you want to tell her to come inside and play with us? And she's like, no. Oh my god, I got the fucking chill. Just straight up, you guys, it was like, no. And I was like, oh, okay, well, do you want us to go onto the front porch and like play with her? Because on the front porch of this house, my aunt had put up like 2 little rocking chairs. So there was like a little space for us to kind of play. I was like, do you want us to go outside and play with me? She was like, no. Like, just, she didn't want to go out there, but she didn't want her friend to come in here. And I was just like, okay. So we just kind of kept playing, and she like never brought it up again, and she stopped looking out the window. I've asked her before about this. I was like, bro, do you remember like your little friend? And she was like, I had a little friend. I was like, yeah, you used to like say all the time that there was a little girl that wanted you to go play outside with her. And she's like, did I ever go? I was like, no, like you never actually went, but you kept saying that there was a little girl that wanted to play with you. And she was like, I don't remember, but that's creepy. Like I mentioned earlier, okay, I had 2 cousins. I had the girl that I named Brittany, and then the boy, okay? The boy, we're gonna name him Garfield. Garfield's parents were the ones that owned the house, right? And of course they had their like master bedroom upstairs, okay? And their master bedroom was pretty big, honestly, and they had one of those like beds that like hovered off the ground. Like it wasn't on the ground. They like nailed it or some shit to like the wall, so it was like a floating bed, right? This bed, you guys, was ginormous. And like it was ginormous, and like it was a big bed, like it was a king. But not only that, it was ginormous. Like it was hard to get up on. I remember they had to like get him like a little step stool for him to like be able to get on and off the bed, because it was hard because it was such a high bed, right? Garfield also would mention a little friend, okay? A little like boy that was his friend. But again, we're all kids, we have imaginary friends. I know I had them. So like, again, we acknowledged what he was saying, but didn't put, I guess, too much thought into what he was saying. His bedroom was like diagonal from his parents, right? And in his closet, he used to have this like big toy bin, okay? It was one of those like plastic ones, and it had a lid, but like I think we had lost it or broken it or some shit, so it had no lid. So it was just like an open toy box, and in there he just kept all his toys, okay? That night we decided to have like a sleepover. We lived in the same house, but like my parents let me go up to his bedroom to like, you know, have like a sleepover. His bedroom, you guys, was like decked out in like Winnie the Pooh, okay? Like the walls were blue to resemble like the sky. It had like a really cute trimming all around the top, like Winnie the Pooh themed. His bed was all like Winnie the Pooh, and he even had like a big stuffed Tigger. So in order to get into bed, we had to like move the Tigger off and kind of like undo like the sheets a little bit, just because like he wasn't really sleeping in his room at that time, because again, he must have been like 5 or 6. So he was still mainly sleeping with his parents, but like once in a while, like that day where we had like a sleepover, he slept in his room, right? So we were like moving everything over, and his mom told us that, you know, we had to clean up all the toys before we went to bed. So we were like, okay. We put all the toys in the bin and we got into bed, and I had left the closet door open. And before we fell asleep, he looks at me and he goes, can you close the closet door? And I was like, no, like I'm already in bed, you know, like I didn't want to get up. I was like, no, it's okay. He's like, no, please close it. And I was just like, okay, whatever. I close the closet door, you guys. I come back to bed. We're knocked out, okay? At some point in the middle of the night, I wake up, right, to his toys just going off. Like it really sounded like somebody was just like going through the toys and like moving them over and like just like digging through all the toys trying to find one. I was facing away from Garfield, okay? So like when I fell asleep with my back towards him. So I was like, oh, he probably just like woke up and like wanted to play and like went to like his like bin. I was like, whatever. We wake up in the morning, you guys. The first thing I noticed was that the closet door was open. I remember I had gotten up and like closed the closet door, but I heard him playing in the toy box, so I was just like, okay, like he must have left it open. Once he woke up, I mentioned it. I was like, did you wake up in the middle of the night to play? And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, did you wake up in the middle of the night to play? He's like, no. But again, he was little. He was he was a kid. So I was just like, okay, you're playing with me. Like, you definitely got up in the middle of the night and you like went to go play. He was just like, no, Jocelyn, like I did no such thing. But again, who else could it have been, right? Fast forward a little bit, you guys, and you know I mentioned that his parents had like the floating bed in the room. He was up there, and I'm pretty sure I was like downstairs in the living room like watching TV or like in the kitchen eating something. I was like downstairs, he was upstairs, and his mom is like, hey Mija, like go tell Garfield to come downstairs so he can eat. And I was like, okay. I go up there and the door to get into his parents' room is locked. I go back downstairs and I'm like, yeah, like the door is like locked, okay? And she was like, what? Like that's so weird. Like let me go see what's up. We go upstairs, you guys. She realizes the door is locked, okay? She like picks at the lock. We get it open. Garfield's dad, I can't believe I named him Garfield. His dad, you guys, always wears ties, like always has a tie on, okay? Like for his job, like it kind of requires a tie. Well, it doesn't really require a tie, but he looks a lot more put together if he wears a tie, so he's always wearing ties. So there's always ties around their home, okay? Garfield had taken like 3 or 4 of his ties, tied them together, okay, to make like one long ass tie. He had tied it around his neck, you guys, and tied it to the bed. And you guys remember I told you guys that it was a floating bed, so it was high off of the ground. Oh my fucking god, you guys, I'm getting like the ugliest children right now. He wasn't trying to kill himself, but he said his friend told him to do it. This one gives me the absolute worst chills ever, just because if we hadn't walked in when we had walked in, like I don't know what would have happened. Of course, like their ties, I don't know how well like they would have like, you know, stay together. Like I don't know how well he tied them, but it was just like a really scary scene to walk into. And then when we asked him what happened, he just kept saying, my friend told me to do it, my friend told me to do it, me and my friend were playing and he told me to do it. So I'm gonna tell you guys one more story about this house, okay? And then we'll call it a night, and then maybe I don't know, next Halloween I can do some more scary stories. Fast forward, you guys, I don't know how much time went by. I wasn't living in this house anymore when this happened. My uncle, okay, he is like an OG. I absolutely love this uncle to fucking pieces, okay? He is just, he's crazy, okay? He's been through a lot, he's done a lot, but he never got married. He has no kids. Me, my sister, and my cousins are like his entertainment. We're like his kids, okay? We had like moved to the house that we got with my parents. I lived about like, I don't know, like 10 minutes away from this like haunted house, okay? And it was a day during the summer, okay? And I used to get very, very, very depressed, you guys, as a kid. I didn't know why at the time. Of course, I know now, unfortunately, but I didn't really know what was going on up here, okay? I just knew that it wasn't right. It just was not okay. So I had called my uncle, or I had texted him, and I was like, hey, like, I don't feel very well, like, if you go out or anything, like, let me know, like, I would love to tag along. And of course, my uncle, being the badass that he is, he came and he scooped me up, right? So we had gone to like the stores, and I think we went to Target. We just like, you know, went to like goof off at the stores. I was like 13 or 14 at this time. And before we headed to his house, okay, because he still lived in this like haunted house, we got some foods. We had gotten like some tacos and some sopes, and we were like so excited to like go back and like, you know, have our food or whatnot. We get to the house, right? Nobody's home. Nobody's home. There's no cars in the driveway. Nobody is fucking home, okay? We walk in and we head to the kitchen so that we can sit down and start eating. We start eating. We're just like chopping it up. He's making jokes, I'm making jokes, like we're just laughing, like having a great time. From this kitchen, you guys, where I was sitting, if I turned around, I could see like the living room and the stairs that led up to like the 3 bedrooms upstairs. Where he was sitting, he could just look straight and like see all this, right? All of a sudden, you guys, we hear like footsteps coming towards the stairs, because you guys remember I said that the upstairs was all wood floor, so any movement, you could hear that shit, okay? So we hear like 3 or 4 footsteps, and all of a sudden we hear Theo in like Garfield's voice, like him walking and then getting to like the top of the stairs and saying, "Uncle?" Like questioning it, like, "Are you here?" You know what I mean? I turn around, I look at the stairs expecting to see Garfield like standing there. Nobody's there, you guys. Nobody is fucking there. I turned back and look at my uncle and I was like, "Did you hear that?" And he was like, "Did you?" And I was like, "Did you?" No. I was like, "I think Garfield's here." And he was like, "Oh, like, let me go look." He gets up, you guys, and I already knew like some things that had happened in this house, so I was not about to stay in the fucking kitchen by myself. So I follow him up the stairs, you guys. We go into each room, okay? There's 3 rooms upstairs. We go into each room, into the bathrooms. Nobody is fucking home. Can't explain to you guys how fast we ran out that fucking house. Okay, we literally fucking sprinted out that damn house. We left our food, our drinks, everything on the kitchen table, and we got into his car and literally drove off. That is not the end of this house, you guys, okay? So many other things happened in this house. That is just a few of the stories that happened in this house, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching and for being here. I hope you guys have a very happy and safe Halloween. Let me know down below if you have ever had anything like spooky happen to you, okay? I would love to hear all of you guys' like spooky stories, especially for today because it's freaking Halloween. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, a dope ass rest of your week. Don't forget to drink some water, make sure that you guys eat, have hella fun today, okay? Be safe. Always, always, always be aware of your surroundings. Don't trust a single soul. And fuck it up, bitch. I will see you guys very soon for another video.